All right, we're back with Herring's Live. Had some sort of glitch, just dropped our feed completely. And I see Annette Sharp is joined and Tara Flanagan. I was going to try to get Dr. Kuroshi back, send her an invite again. And she was here with me a second ago. So if we can get her back, she will be back alive. It's too noisy out here. I got to move. There's a lot of construction going on. I'll just show you. They're going to be overdecking this area here where the Connecticut Avenue drops through. And it's got Dr. Kuroshi's invite out. I don't know what happened to our feed, but it spontaneously just dropped like it was jammed. Ah, see, we're going to wait for the light here. If anybody has anything on your mind, let me know. Very strange. You disappeared. I did disappear. Yes. I've sent the invite. Guess can't see it. Sent new invites from. This is just on my day for this thing. I have sent her another invite. I don't see anybody. It's very, very, very bright out here, so I can't even see my lens. Let's see if I can get her back on. It was just kind of bizarre. See things behind me and in front of me. Let's see. In the shade, I can see a little better. We've got you again. Oh, great. That's
Hey, you
fantastic.
disappeared.
Yeah, what happened was it just glitched out while I was in the bookstore. It just went boom, gone. And suddenly I was
Oh,
looking at our chat. So I have no idea why it
well,
did
thank you
that.
for joining. I
But you
have
know
one of my
how.
editors who just joined us, Hal Garima.
Oh, great, great. Yeah,
Yeah.
we got Annette Sharp is here. I think you may know her. Tara Flanagan, or I don't know, but Lost Fives 100 as well as a regular. And was a paid subscriber. I think still is. Maybe I don't know. I don't pay attention too much. I ought to pay more attention to these things. But it's not about that. Nice to see you live, Dr. Gabriella. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
Hi, Garima. Yeah, thank you so much for jumping in. Yeah,
Yeah,
I just lost Hal a minute ago. So, it's interesting that the last time we talked to, we had a few glitches to work out. So it seemed to be like consistent with our work.
yeah. I have a feeling it's probably the NSA.
Really?
Well, yeah. I'm in Washington, D.C. I'm broadcasting everything all the time. Also, we were right inside, beginning to look at Anthony Hopkins' memoir, is what I was showing you when it went blip,
Yes.
gone.
It just disappeared. Wasn't that interesting? Yeah.
Yep. So now I'm outside, and hopefully they'll allow me to, be a public spectator. That's what I like to do. I'm walking along, taking in the passing show. All right. Waiting to cross here. They're going to stop signing. They're going to stop. Let me go. And we're walking by Diego's, which is the home of the power cut, where I get my hair cut. What's interesting about Diego's is that it's got pictures of all the different people who've had their haircut there. And it's like crazy.
Oh, nice.
You've got like the Pope, you've got like I don't know if you can see that right there. I don't want to go in there and film, but
Yeah, but
you
I
get the
can see. So
idea.
it has like some
All
famous
these
people in there.
photographs of all these different congressmen and senators and other heads of state, ambassadors. It's just funny. Diego himself is no longer, but his business carries on. This is our DuPont Coffee Collective, an independent coffee vendor.
Yeah.
The ladies there bought the facility after Firehook, which had it, decided they were just going to be a cracker manufacturing company and disband their bakery outlets.
Isn't that the place you applied for?
No, they said next door, Daily Provisions,
Oh, okay.
which is managed by Danny Myers. He's the head of Union Square Hospitality Group. Haven't heard back yet from the managers here. You can see it's kind of nice. People can sit out,
Yeah, looks like
get
it.
computers and work or have conversations. The interior is just pretty nice too. I'm taking inside a little bit
Okay.
full.
Thank you for showing us around.
Lots. And yeah, I don't see the manager around right now, so I'll catch up with them later. I don't want to do a lot of filming in here,
Okay.
but it's kind of rude. I don't know why I think that's rude, but I do. I'm not sure about the whole thing about how much information we're grabbing and stuffing into the servers of Substack, and the Substack, I believe, runs on Amazon Web Services.
Oh, really? I
And
didn't
of
know
course,
that.
it auto pumps it out to YouTube, and YouTube transcribes it for us. So yeah, we can make a book out of that. There's need a lot of
Yes, we can.
editing from all the babbling I do.
And
That's
we
one of my
will.
favorite places. Isn't that pretty oval?
That is very pretty.
Secrete, it's called. And they also have watches, of course, like most jewelers do.
Mhm.
But I'm not buying anything there.
No,
They've been in
probably me
business a
neither.
long time though. Anyway, what do you want to talk about today? What's on your mind?
Well, I wanna show you something that I got from my friend, Gabriella, while I'm here.
Oh,
It's a
great.
little plaque, and it says, "I am a writer. Anything you say or do may be used in a story."
Excellent.
And I just thought, this is pretty great. Otherwise, I started to read a book. My mom had it on the bookshelf, and I picked it up. It's in Hungarian. It's written by Joe H. Slate, so I think probably an English version is also available. But it is talking about leaving your body. So it's talking about out of body experiences. It
Oh,
also
interesting.
talks about how you're able to do more of a channeling. So it's kind of like a training of how you can do this intentionally. So I thought that was interesting because, like, we talked about some experiences before, um, you and I, and but I haven't really seen like a book that specifically focuses on well how to have an out of body experiences. Have you seen one, or have
Very
you read?
much. There's a whole institute in Virginia called the Monroe Institute at Faber, Virginia, just south of
Mm-hmm.
Charlottesville in the mountains. Very pretty setting. That's the whole thing was based on Bob Monroe's experience of leaving his body, which he
Mm-hmm.
did
And I think they mentioned that
spontaneously.
in here. I think
Right, he did
they
that
mentioned that name.
spontaneously. He
Mm-hmm.
has 3 books out, and, as well, the Monroe Institute continues, and he developed Hemisync technology to help facilitate voyages out of the body, putting the
Okay.
brain into theta wave states, right?
Yeah.
Using 100, now I'm gonna lose my words, megahertz in one ear and 104 in the other to give a 4 millihertz or whatever, um,
Mm-hmm.
kind of vibration, and it really tunes your brain waves. So, anyway, that's very interesting technology. You're not supposed to use it while driving because if you
Yeah.
leave your body while driving, big problem. What
Mm-hmm.
I thought I would do is I'll get a for rent sign. If I
Really?
go out of my body, then maybe you could channel somebody else, right? That's along the lines of
No,
what
it's
you're
not
talking
really
about.
supposed to work that way, huh?
I
I don't
know.
think you can just rent your body out. Would you
Well,
want to though? I mean, you don't know
it's the
what
Church
somebody
of
else would be doing in
Scientology.
there.
I'm walking by the Church of Scientology. Maybe I'll go here and get cleared so I can make
No,
clean
don't
voyages.
go in there, huh? It's not a safe place to go into. I
I know
can tell you that for certain. I
it's
heard
a
horror
beautiful
stories
building
and
though.
watched
Look at
horror
that.
movies about that place.
I know there's some great movies on it. And it's amazing that people have such a need, right? They have a real deep need to
Well,
belong to something
yeah,
special,
but the
a need
problem
to be
is that
special.
there's some people who use that for abuse, right? So people,
Well, that's
they
what I'm
train
saying.
people who are vulnerable
And it's
and they
just
use it
one
for use and
example.
abuse.
Yep, it's just one example. and the
Yeah.
whole litany of examples. But tell me more about this book that you found. Who wrote it? When it was it published?
The name is Joe H. Slate, and it was published in Hungarian in 2002 by Ada Kiadó. And let me see if it says it was translated. It was originally published in the USA. So there's probably a US version, and it was originally published in 1998, but it's just as relevant. So I love when I find old books and it's still
Yeah.
relevant. It basically shares people experiences, and then it provides some steps. I'm just, into like maybe 1/5 of the book. So I just started to reading. Then it's
Yeah.
talking
But you
about
haven't done the experiment yet, huh?
no,
Have you
but I
left your
mean, I
body?
had the experience without it, and it's talking
Right.
about that some
Right.
people can spontaneously have the experience, but then you can do certain steps to enhance the chance of it. And it's talking about
Yep.
some calmness and relaxation techniques, and that's where I am kind of right now.
Right.
And also some reassurance that basically you're not hurting yourself, but when you do these experiences, you get into a state which I have seen before when everything kind of makes sense. You kind of experience this oneness, kind of
Right.
process things differently, and time goes at a different speed. So it feels like maybe you were there a lifetime and you come back and you just woke up like 5 minutes later, which I always feel like pretty amazing. But I never really
Right.
tried it doing purposefully before. So I'm kind of curious after finishing this book. Well, I'm going to have a whole airplane ride to read it. So I might be trying to finish this while heading to the US. And I'm going to try it and see what happens, because before I only had it like through really calm times, or mindfulness not expecting to happen, or like deep relaxation, like when I had acupuncture
Mhm.
and, those type of things, or while I was out in a vision quest. But I never purposefully tried that before for my own, um, you know, um, calmness, or just kind of inspiration. So I'm kind of curious how they're
Yeah.
gonna work.
I was kind of curious.
Yeah.
I just found this. The nature
Oh my
is
god.
established this little spot here.
That's
Anyway,
beautiful.
so that's nice. It's got a little bit of a garden around me. And what you're talking about, though, I think is a deep need that people have as well to escape the present moment we're in. To be present in the present moment's uncomfortable for a lot of us for various reasons. Um, and I think that learning to both inhabit our bodies as well as to leave them and to be able to see them from a different perspective
Yeah.
is really important. So, yeah, I applaud the experimentation, and I'd like to hear the results when you get back to the States. That'll be fun. So you're
Yeah.
thinking of doing it on the plane, right? Right? Well, you're up over Canada and then
Mm,
Arctic.
I'm going to London, and from London to
Yeah,
the Oregon.
Portland.
So I'm not sure
Yeah.
which way the plane is gonna go yet.
Oh, it always goes up over the Great Circle, right? So you'll
Okay.
be way up there to the north in order to get down to Portland.
Yes.
'Cause to make the most direct use of, the Earth's curvature and such. But what you're gonna try to do it while you're on the plane, you're saying, right? Wasn't that what I
But I'm
heard?
gonna hopefully finish the book.
Yeah, and do
Yeah.
the experiment, yeah. Well, if
Not
you
on the
haven't done the
plane though.
experiment
I
on it.
I don't think it's gonna be quiet and calm enough to do it on the plane. Probably once I'm
No,
back in the
I don't know, I
US.
find planes to be a great place to do that, to sit there and look down on the passing show at a long distance, and you realize how tiny we are and how insignificant, but how very significant simultaneously. You know what I
Yes.
mean? So
Yeah.
everybody's occupying their own unique perspective in space and time.
Absolutely.
And
Now,
it's true. Well, it's
one of
fun.
one of the things that they were saying in here was about it's giving an example of people doing this experiment before they go somewhere, like an important conference or an exam, and visiting the place before, even though they never been there before. And then
Right.
it gives an example of somebody who went into an important conference and in this astroplane visited the hotel and then saw a telephone, and the telephone had a specific color. And then the next day, when they arrived to the hotel or the day after, they felt a sense of calmness because they know where they were. They've been there before and they saw the same telephone. So it's just like little things like that. As somebody, did the same before they did an exam and things like that. There's could be some ethical questions about that. But because they saw some of the possible exam questions. So you know but there's a lot of stories in here. I mean, I don't know if they are true or not, but I'm open to listen to what the book says and then try it out and we'll see.
Today is the 9th, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, that's very interesting because it's right in line with my guest on 1:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Now we're on Daylight Time. I'm just going to say Eastern Time, Eastern U.S. time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm writing this into the chat for everybody who happens to be listening to us today. Eastern U.S. time. We had to fall back. Oh, we sprung forward. I'm sorry. On Sunday, so we lost an hour. Um, but Sophie Burnham, and she's got a website, sophieburnham.com, is going to be my guest. And one of her books is on, the art of intuition
Mm-hmm.
and using your intuition to foresee things. She talks
Nice.
in that one about this guy she met who during World War II, he was an old guy, and she's kind of old now too. Her latest book, by the way, is The Wonder and Happiness of Being Old.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, when she met this guy who was during World War II in England, seeing the young aviators off on their missions from the 8th Air Force, he could see whether they'd come back or not. And
Oh,
he was
wow.
invariably right. Isn't that interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Just through an intuition, a sort of knowing. And I think
Yes.
that's one of the things that we explore in these kind of esoteric disciplines, if you will. I don't know. I'm a skeptic about all of that stuff. I love reading her stuff. I love the fact that she was very much, a seer. She did actually courses in distance viewing. And that's along the lines of what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to see what you cannot see with the physical eye, but you can see things at distance and know things that are happening or
Yes.
pre-know. And I think we've talked about it probably before, how I was working in the Carnegie Museum of Art, and I had a dream that the object conservator came in and said that he had caused damage to an object and would be resigning his position. And damned if exactly that didn't happen like the following week.
Wow.
It was eerie how
Mm-hmm.
accurate my dream had been.
Mm-hmm.
Just crazy accurate. This guy was suffering from chronic pain. Another friend of mine is dealing with chronic pain. You've got some degree of chronic results from your fall, right? Are you still in
Yeah, I mean,
pain
there's still
physically?
some pain in my ankle as I'm recovering, and different body parts to a certain degree, like my hips and neck and things like that. But yeah, it's manageable. But yeah, they are there.
Oh, isn't that interesting that Angel has read your books too?
Yeah,
Look
I'm
up something
excited
like
to
that.
hear which books, Angel. Yeah, thank you so much for reading my books. I'm excited always when I find somebody who read something I wrote.
Yeah, I mean, I've got this other friend, Julie Ann, I think her name is. She's trying to write books. Have you run into Julie Ann yet?
I don't think
On
so.
Substack? She's written one called Woven in Time, and she's just passed selling 200 copies. And
Oh,
I thought,
Jessica. Jessica.
Jessica, Jessica,
Yes.
couldn't
Yes,
remember.
we had a life together.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Should do it again. I'm one of her supporters. I think a
Hmm.
founding member. I didn't
Yeah.
realize it. I get so generous feeling sometimes. and I forget who I've subscribed to. I'm having a problem right now that I can't subscribe to more people. They limited at 5,000 subscriptions. So in other words, my feed is just wildly clogged. Okay, my youngest, this we have all of them.
Oh,
No,
that is so wonderful,
there it is.
Angel. So the Weaving Connections, Nature Walk, is our latest books that I
Okay.
wrote and Gabriela Trofin Tatar. And the Holistic Journey Toward Wellness is the book that we've written with, I think, 24 authors from all over the world. So thank you so much for reading our books. That is so exciting.
Yeah,
Your
let's give them a
youngest,
little
we have
boost. Got more? No, that's it. That's the last one.
yeah.
Let's see who else is here. Tell us
And
who you are,
Richard,
where
thank you
you
for
are.
joining. Richard joined us multiple times.
Richard
And
is in
Richard,
Ottawa, Canada. Lee, are you in Huntsville still? Lee is from my Randolph Macon College.
mhm.
I was watching on my old director of religious life at the campus back from the 80s. He's doing things now that are findable on YouTube. His name is Charles Haynes. And
Okay.
again, he was in the circle of Mayor Baba when Mayor Baba was still in the body. He dropped the body in January 1969, but Charles was a young boy then, and by the time he was a young adult, he was writing his dissertation on Mayor Baba called "The Awakener," and I am very interested in that. I was listening to it. One of the things that Baba said that I think is everybody can help participate in is "Don't worry, be happy." It's very difficult to do in the face of current events, right? There's a lot of people that probably should be very worried about what actions of our government over here on the world stage. And I just got done with a weekend at Amnesty International's USA annual general
Yeah,
meeting,
I saw.
Mayflower Hotel.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw one of your lives from there. Yeah.
And, there's a tremendous amount of work that they have done since 1961 when Amnesty was founded.
Yeah.
But in some ways, I think we're losing speed. And apparently, in modern or this administration's strategic planning and such, there's no mention of human rights at all. The word
That's
doesn't occur.
worrisome.
Yeah, so this is really daunting and something I think we need to advertise to people to be mindful, cognizant, awakened, aware,
Yes.
those words. And we're not. In general, most of us walk around sort of blithely oblivious to the suffering of our fellow human beings. Now, as I said, everything is according to Baba's will for those who are Baba lovers. Hard to get our heads around. How can this possibly be true? But I guess it's the same problem that Carl Jung dealt with in Answer to Job. Did we talk about the Answer to Job before?
Yeah, I think so. On
Have you
his
read it?
on
I
on
forget.
his deathbed, right? When he was close to death, there was a question. Is that what you're talking about? What is the
No, there's
purpose
a
of
book.
life?
There's a book called The Answer to Job that Carl Jung wrote
I don't
that
know if we
deals
talked about
with.
that specific book. We talked about him and his philosophy a few times, and what is the point? I know.
That's a good one. What is the
Yeah.
point? Well, Answer to Job is specifically addressing the problem of the book of Job in the Bible. Are you familiar with that one,
Oh,
right?
okay. Yes. Yes.
And the problem is, of course, if Yahweh is omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, he knows how it's going to turn out.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
So, how does that justify inflicting all the suffering on Job or any of us that we endure? Job is
Mhm.
not our role model for being a human in the world, right?
Yeah.
And I
No,
think it's
not
kind of an
really.
open question. Um, I see myself as a little spark of light. Are you familiar with the concepts of gnosis
Yes.
and the Gnostics? We are little shards of the one, of the monad,
Hmm. Yeah.
operating in the world. If that's so, then we should be able to affect, loving kindness as a radiant source for that, for all
Yes.
people.
Yes.
Why not? And I'm open to suggestions from other people too, here, our participants, our visitors. Well, what do you think?
I believe, if you're asking me,
I'm asking
I
every
believe that each, my beliefs. So I do believe that each and every one of us can make a difference, and every good act, every kindness, and every support for each other makes a difference, because you have to live by the example, right? So if you do right by people, that shows an example. On your previous question, why they're suffering, my metaphysician teacher and friend, Mara Muter, would say that we have multiple different lives that we live simultaneously, and everything that happened already happened before. And we are here to observe and have different experiences. So, like, imagine thousands and thousands of scenarios. In one scenario, you were not even born. Another scenario, that bus hit you that didn't hit you this time. Another scenario, you never married. Another scenario, you had 5 children. So we live through all these experiences to have one whole experience in the end. That's how she explained it. And I think that would make a lot of sense why we have a lot of deja vus, right? Because you like close to this other parallel experience, and then you feel many times, I can feel people, I can feel scenarios, I feel like I've been there before, I feel like this. I played, for example, recently with Gabriella, we went to uh, listen to this beautiful music,
uh-huh.
um, of cello, and while we were listening to the music, I felt so intensely that I know how to play this instrument. I closed my eyes and tears started to flow. And
Oh,
I felt like that my body was in the cello artist's body and I'm playing the instrument. And all of a sudden I feel like if I could just pick up an instrument, I could play it. I don't know if this is true or not. And I felt the same with the violin. And I never, ever tried to play a violin before or a cello before, but I had just had like this very strong senses that I know how to do this. And where is that come from? It is so interesting. So I don't know. I think different people can experience things a different way. And I think it's good to be open and good to just be observe and just say what it is we experience. Um, because I think some people can put the blinders on and to be like super strict and put themselves in a box and no, I only believe in Jesus. No, I only believe in Buddha. No, I only believe in this. No, I only believe in Scientology. No, I only believe in whatever. And
yeah,
I
belief
think
is
it's good to
really
be
a
open
big
and just
stumbling
experience
block.
life, you know?
That's where maybe logic comes in, by the way. I have no beliefs, but I have many suspicions.
Yeah.
Now, the thing you were talking about, what was the name of the author of the you were talking about a woman who wrote a book or something, or somebody who taught
Oh,
you, or
yeah. Her
I
name
didn't
is
get the name.
Maren Muter. I can put it in a chat.
Yeah, please do. And I put Kenny Werner in Effortless Mastery and Becoming the Instrument, something I've probably talked about before.
And Maren, first of all, makes the most
Got it.
amazing chocolate in the universe. She
Great.
makes her own chocolate. It's called That Chocolate. She hand grinds it. You can only buy a limited supply. It comes out in October, and you have to like order quick and get some. And I
Okay.
got some to bring to Hungary for very special people. And she also is a metaphysician, an author, and a writer. And she does some workshops and fire chats. And I've been following and um, working and supporting her, I think probably the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. You disappeared, huh? Are you still here? Okay.
Yeah, I'm still here. What I did was I just got a message coming in, and I had to go look at it to make sure it wasn't
Okay.
something that I needed to act upon in an instant. I manage the Fife and Drum Corps fans group, which has about 3,000 members, and occasionally somebody slips in and does something they shouldn't do. So
Mm-hmm.
I have to keep a watch. But there was nothing. Just somebody informing me about something with the U.S. Association of Rudimental Drummers.
Mm-hmm.
If you're into
Okay.
rudimental drumming, you're really into rudimental drumming, let me tell you. And it's
It sounds like
one of my great joys. What's that?
it sounds like it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is we all have to oh, your connection's becoming unstable, it says. But in any case, we all have to go down into that corporeal, rhythm, the beat of the heart and move out
Yes.
from there because we are an instrument. We are an instrument of change. We're constantly
Absolutely.
changing ourselves and we change the world through our choices, through our actions. And we need to be conscious of that and responsible, good ancestors, I like to say. Those are my mantras, right? Or whatever they are. They're the things I hammer on all the time. Every cent spent's a vote.
It is so interesting that you were talking about the heartbeat
Yep,
because last
heartbeat.
time when I had my vision quest,
Mhm.
I felt I had this vision and feeling of feeling the heartbeat of Earth,
Mm,
and visiting and seeing the vision. And I wrote about this of Earth and how part
yeah,
of it was black and broken. And when I travel to the depth of the Earth to see the heart of Earth, I seen all the damage we are doing to the environment, to each other. It was layers and layers of catastrophe, of things that I have not seen with my eyes. But it's like when things flash through your eyes, I saw all this like it's happening in real life, all the damage that we have done to Earth.
it is happening in real life. And that's the part that I don't enjoy being aware of so much. And the fact that my generation is, responsible at this point for its stewardship of the legacy that's been left to us by previous generations.
Yeah.
We've got a rich heritage. We should accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative. That
Yeah.
might be an idea. I actually found the root source of that. It
Okay.
was just there was a guy named Father Divine. He was a 5'2" African American guy, lived in Pennsylvania, and
Okay.
was, by his own reckoning, God incarnate. It wasn't that
Okay.
long ago. He died in like 1965. Mayor
Okay.
Baba, of course, also claimed to be God incarnate.
Okay.
And I feel was more believable than just about any other incarnation that I've run into in this past century. I don't know who's God incarnate right now. Maybe we all are. I think that's actually sort of the message that I get from Baba is that we are all, he's all that exists. We're all him. We're all drop souls that will remerge with the ocean like the river flows down to the sea. I'm very fond of, trumpeting Pete Townsend, who's a Baba lover as well. And the sea, I can't talk. The sea refuses no river is a song he says.
Hmm.
So all of our lives are going to be returning. And maybe that was along the lines of your friend, ooh, maramuder.com. There she is. Um, it's eternal return. This moment is eternity. We find
Yes.
ourselves in it here now, and we will be in it again. And, there's a film called The Trip to Infinity. Have you seen that one yet?
I don't think so. No.
It's out on Netflix, I think, or it was Amazon Prime. I'm pretty sure it was Netflix. So Trip to Infinity. And it's just mind blowing and worth watching, I think, if you really want to get your consciousness expanded. And most of
Okay.
us do. I think most of us are interested in consciousness
I'm gonna write it
expanding.
down so I remember the trip to infinity.
Then again, I think there's also this part of us that gets overwhelmed and
Yeah.
wants to put the blinders on and focus very narrowly. One of the things, for instance, I was talking to a couple of people at Amnesty about the No Kings demonstration. They were very big into. They're like gearing up for the third one.
Uh huh.
And I pointed out, but we need to have effective action. This is great to go out there and hold our signs and make noise, but we need effective action.
And
This sort of
also,
ended the
there's enough
conversation.
people needed to want change, like how grassroots movements work. And
Well,
that's
supposedly
why,
we do. I mean, that's why we're getting out there waving our signs, right?
yeah.
But we're not willing to inconvenience ourselves to the extent that it'll actually inflict pain on those who are in power and ourselves in the bargain
And why you think that is? I think it's
because we're
fear.
fat and happy
I think it's fear.
and we're content. We're
Hmm.
somewhat like the frogs in the water, right? And the heat's rising, but we're kind of comfortable,
Hmm.
kind of lulled to sleep. And most of us do spend most of our time asleep. I mean, that's the thing that I keep bringing Gurdjieff back into this and the
Okay.
fourth way.
Hmm.
And the people who are following that are trying to shock themselves awake. Now that there's several shocks in the Enneagram that he endorsed, there's so much to learn. And I only know a little, right? I'm only
Now,
just
look at us. We are
exposed.
talking about this in front of the whole world. I mean, anybody can watch this. And we are
And
here in the open.
pick up what we're laying down. As I like to say, it's sort of hipster speak, but there you go.
Yeah.
Comes out of Lord Buckley's comedy. But there's a lot of deep, rich stuff in the stand-up comics work, right?
Hmm.
And also in the art and literature and music, you know, the thing that brings us together is music, that Hammerschlag, the or hammer stroke of the heartbeat. Um,
Hmm.
William Blake talks about the halls of Los, which is
Hmm.
a smith, sort of that heartbeat continuing and consciousness flowing through us as a result of having that constant heartbeat. I like to think of it in terms of the mill, you know, where the grinding wheels are powered by water flowing through. And all of
Yeah.
us are in a rush down towards the water, down towards the flat water to roll it back out into the sea of unknowing, I like to say. I don't know. Seems to me that way. Could be wrong. I'd like to get other people's perspectives.
I think I was just going to say this is a perspective, and there could be millions of perspectives, and it doesn't mean that any of them is wrong. They are just different. But you can keep mentioning the heart, and I'm just so admired by our hearts. I think it's just one of the most magical organs that is possible. That every single cell can have its own beat. I mean, it's pure magic. And I mean, our whole body is pure magic that we exist, but our heart and
For real.
people say that just listen to your heart. And I think there's just such an important saying. Like close your eyes and what do you feel in your heart? And then do the right thing, what feels right. Don't necessarily think all rational all the time. Like what feels right in your heart? And then do that.
Well, that could be really dangerous in my heart's case.
Oh, really?
Well, you know, there are those people who say that God told them to do certain violent actions.
Well,
And I've seen that happen in the
I
past.
don't really believe that. I don't believe that any God, any spiritual guy, that anybody would want to kill anything. So whoever say that, they are lying. Sorry.
Well, I don't know. There's also you know about oneness, right?
Yes, I do. I said I wrote it down there. We are all one.
But the oneness of the individual too, the idea that
Yeah.
our shadow and our light, you know, because there's a light of consciousness, it's casts a shadow as well.
Mhm, mhm.
And we have within us both light and dark.
Yes, we
If
do.
we don't bring the darkness to the fore in consciousness, it manifests out in the world, they say. This is actually Jungian thought again, but
Mhm.
it was not original to me. But I do think I watched it and like I said, when we were talking about answer to Job, how can Yahweh do this to it? How can a good, loving God inflict such horrible suffering on his creation or her creation or its creation or however you like to term it? Our gendered language, you know, language itself is such a clumsy tool
It's
for
crazy. There
expressing
should be
ourselves.
no gender. It doesn't matter. We just talk human.
Well, the root of words, when I found myself telling Charlotte Del Signore, I don't know if you run across Charlotte yet, but she wrote a beautiful piece on International Women's Day, which I believe was yesterday.
Hmm. Yes, it was.
And I said, this should be disseminated. And I realized immediately that when I said disseminated, I was using a gendered word coming out of a gendered kind of action of the male dissemination. And I was like, what a clumsy tool. I don't know if she picked up on what I was talking about when I did that, but it's what we have to try to come to understanding with each other. Having different languages helps, though. There are words and formulations in Hungarian that don't exist in English, I'm sure.
Yes. Yes.
And so
And it's
that
kind of fun to try to explain it, and
right.
sometimes I just say, well, there's no word for it, but this is kind of what it is.
And it's kind of like the roots of the word in Danish when somebody bumps into you and says "undskyld." It sort of means like not guilty.
Oh, okay.
But not my fault. Or the one where it's like you say "tak" to somebody when you thank them. And then there's a more extreme version, like "thank you very much" is the translation to English, but in Danish it's "tak skal du have," which is "you should be thanked."
Uh-huh.
But any "should" is a statement contrary to fact. In fact, there's such a culture in I don't know if this is true or not, this is my interpretation. I think this is an original thought of mine. And as I toss that around in my head, the formulation, what it literally translates to, and I realized the Danish culture has this sort of thing of everybody is equal, nobody is better than anybody else. Don't be too much. Don't stick your head up too high. You're just like everybody else. And the more you feel that way, the better you are than everybody else. It's called Yanta law. Anyway, in that thing about thanks, you should be thanked, but you won't be because it's been too much. In that more extreme version of thank you very much, it's like, hey, I don't know. I think I'm losing you.
No, you're not. I was
No.
just, because you're talking about
Yeah.
a different language, I was just looking at my little notebook here and listening to you at the same time.
Okay.
Just to see if I wrote something interesting in another language in here. But I just wrote a lot about different verbs and things, how to conjugate them in Spanish. So that's not so interesting. But I did find a poem that I wrote in July, not much longer after my fall, that's called Brain on Fire.
Oh, right. Go for it.
Do you want it's a little longer. Do you want to hear it?
Sure. I've got 10 minutes to walk to my car.
Okay. But it's not gonna be that long. Thank you everybody for joining. Roger and Alexi and Tom. I'm gonna read a poem. It's called "The Brain of Fire." I wrote it in July,
Great.
and so it was still like only 3 months after my brain injury, and this is how I felt, and this is how it came out. I am here, grief-stricken, in pain from the signs of humanity. I am here, fallen from above. Have I died? Possibly for a split second, till the universe decided again, it's not time yet. Time to wake up again. I am here. He's not. Good people die. Murderers survive. The justice in this world is painful for those who understand the imbalance of the universe. I am here. I wonder why. What do I have to do in this world? Broken pieces, painful parts, suffering concepts, healing arts. I am here. As long as I'm meant to be, I am here. Standing tall with the trees, filling the ground with vibrations of particles around. I am here. Touching the pulp in the recreating paper-making art. I am here. Making a puzzle of the patterns of the ever-changing, now completed with the forever. I am here. I am a shadow of the self that once was. I am here in my new form with the unknown. I am here. I am still going with an everyday understanding of the moment. This is it. No plan. Just be. I am here for now. No emotions strike through my heart. I am here. The pain screams, listen to me. Stop and rest now, my little car. I am here. Beloved, forgive me of not feeling what it is. The brain is on fire. Broken bones are healing. I am here. Or am I? Crossing paths with unimaginable glass ceilings in life. I am here. The wind blows, the sun shines, the candlelights are on, fire going through the night, forgotten, unknown to many. I am here. The birds sing, the bugs crawl, the dogs rest, the cats wander. I am here. Writing from inspiration for the first time since the fall. Make poetry what it was, once and for all. Make life bring what it meant to bring into our lives. I am here, resting in the forever bliss of now, creating, making, healing, storytelling, walking. I am here. Are you?
I am.
It's just really, as I was reading this, I found really interesting that a lot of things we talked today was in this call.
Pretty good.
Being in a moment, you talked about shadows. We talked about so many things that I wrote down. And this was the first thing I wrote after my fall. It's kind of interesting to read
Yeah.
it.
Well, yeah. I mean, because after all, that's such a traumatic event in your
Yeah.
life that does call into question, like, it was so close
Mhm.
to not being here any longer.
Yeah.
And I've got a friend, actually. I didn't know this, but I invited him to a group I'm go to, and he was talking about how he's got chronic pain, younger than me, this young
Mhm.
man. He says he wakes up every morning hoping that he doesn't, he's not suicidal, but he prays for death
Mhm.
to be relieved of this pain. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know that. But he did tell the whole group. So I don't know. I hope that he comes back and gets more help because, I think there's help out there. He said he needed to find a therapist, and I know a therapist here who wrote a book on the whole deal about being a therapist from what
Yeah.
she was to what she is. And her husband was the shrink for the Congress, and
Mhm.
it's and they need it, right? If anybody does, but it's mind blowing how those kind of things can just be happening right under your nose until somebody opens their mouth and articulates it, whether it's in your poem or whether it's just saying, "Hey, I wake up every morning wishing I would die. I don't want to kill myself, but I wouldn't be adverse to it at all." And my wife was telling me the other day, she was like, if the scenario of Don't Look Up came about, and to contextualize that real quick, Don't Look Up was this movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. And anyway, Meryl Streep was in it as the president of the United States. And it was about a comet was on the way to the Earth and how government inaction and choices made based on corporate profits led to them allowing the comet to hit the Earth,
Oh my
which was
God.
an extinction level event, right? The whole world was basically destroyed in the process. And my wife says, if we got a word that this was happening, that they had detected a comet that would be impacting any week now, she'd be okay with that. She doesn't feel suicidal. I don't know how many of us are actually in that boat, but we got to actually talk about it, right? And
Yeah.
maybe figure out what we can do to improve things in such a way that people don't say, well, if a comet was coming to destroy the entire planet, I'd be okay with that. And you know what that was? The comedy, the black comedy, If Don't Look Up, was really a metaphor for climate change,
Mhm.
right? And
Yeah.
how much is really being done? Nice warm day
Not
here.
enough.
Nice warm day here. Um, I don't know. I have my doubts about whether we'll get it together or whether we won't. But I think we can try to wake each other up.
Yes.
By the way, I got a red card.
What does that mean?
This is a red card that says if you get accosted by somebody who says, I do not wish to speak with you, answer your questions, or sign or hand you any documents based on my Fifth Amendment rights under the United States Constitution. So if I get stopped by agents that don't have a warrant, I can pull out my red card and read it and then say, I want to talk to a lawyer.
That
if
is just so
necessary.
sad that we would have to do that. I do want to say Alexei
Right?
said that he's outside and then he said, oh, interesting. So I was not sure what you said, oh, interesting for. Is that something was in the poll or something else we talked about? But if you want to expand or
If it's
share.
Alexei,
Yeah.
it's kind of doubtful that it's going to make a lot of sense. Just forewarning.
Okay.
This game, like you get off the people that they paid a lot of money to come work at that company, right? It's worth saying your dues.
Oh, interesting. It's a poem.
Okay,
Okay.
the poem.
Okay.
Yeah. There's NPR coming on the radio. And I'm probably going to have to drive here. 3:44, time to go pick up my wife. But thank you so much for making some time for me on such an impromptu manner.
Wonderful.
And, yeah, as usual, it's a bit chaotic, but my anima is Eris, the goddess of chaos and discord.
It's perfect the way it is. And, I think it's going to be a magical book when it comes out.
I hope so. And I'm really looking forward to this, learning more about what experience you have from the author about the out-of-body experiences, because I've always been interested in this, and I've had some where I feel like I left the body and I came back into it. But I don't know, sometimes it's just like what the brain does when it's in an extreme situation.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well,
All
thank
right.
you again so much.
Until next
Thanks,
time.
everyone,
Bye,
for being part
everybody.
of this.
Bye, Hal.
Be the change. See you later.